Okay, now, because I know the highlights channels are gonna clip this. Look, throughout this thread, I don't think this thread comments on Delta versus Momo. Me and Troy are not gonna comment on Delta versus Momo.
Yes,
This
sir.
thread is specifically about why Delta is much weaker than people think. Now, that means all we have to do is comment on Delta. We're just gonna go through the thread and debunk it. So
It's literally it.
now, whether or not you think Delta beats Momo is irrelevant to us, right? Because if you ever listen to us, we don't even actually have a problem with the take. We have a problem with the reasoning,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, we're just gonna go over that. I don't remember everything he says here. I just know that it was like generally bad.
Yeah. I also, like, before we get into it, he tends to throw around the word narrative to try to appear smarter.
Oh yeah,
Even though sometimes he just literally doesn't.
He uses the word narrative a lot, but he doesn't know what it means.
Yeah. And of course, like, the narrative, like, means basically just a story. So him saying he's going to use the story to justify all of this, I mean, it's clear. She only appears in the story. Of course, you're going to use the story. He's inserting that word because it makes people appear smarter.
There's like a separation of feats versus narrative when like feats are part of the narrative. When someone says they're using like narrative instead of feats, what they really mean is they're going to use story implications and statements instead of what the character actually did, which is fine. That's not even like a bad thing. Like it's fine to just use story implications, right? But yeah, just some things to go over before we get directly into the thread. And there we go.
See the word in the first.
So he says, I'll be using the narrative of her character mostly after her battle against Naruto and statements from several other characters about her power to explain where she scales compared to other characters in Naruto/Boruto verse. So let's get started. Now, the first issue with this thread is the fact that he says he's using things from after her battle against Naruto. That's important because after her battle against Naruto, it's a completely different Delta. And when we get to a completely different Delta, we have no idea how strong the other Deltas are. Like, we don't know if Delta Prime got destroyed and then, like, just other ones started popping up, like Delta Beta and whatever. So we don't actually know where the other Deltas scale at. Only one of them has feats. Go ahead.
Another bad part about saying specifically after this Naruto encounter, this is like Naruto fight is her only fight. And that kind of implies like some bias to me because he's basically saying, okay, her best showing with the best statements, we're going to ignore that and go after it. It almost seems like he's kind of acknowledging there's something in there, but he's just going to, move past it for the thread's sake.
So this is the first part of the thread. First of all, Code is stated superior to Delta while possessing ability equal to Boro, sorry. Another statement from the V-Jump also says that Code surpassed Delta in combat ability. This is supported by statements from Amato and Kawaki about Code being different than other enders. Hold up. Someone donated. He says, how come no one ever addresses the fact that a lot of feats were written without the author's realizing of the power scaling? I feel like author intention is only touched on when it's biased for us. I mean, yeah. From when I think it's a bit hard to argue for author's intent.
So we can't just say like Kishimoto or Ikimoto doesn't know power scaling and they weren't doing it. Because at the end of the day, this is a battle manga.
Yeah.
Like no matter which way you go,
they have some realization of it, right? Because they write it.
So. And like for either side, it's kind of you're either assuming he doesn't know about power scaling or you're assuming he does. So it's like a double-edged sword.
And then you can far more prove that they have some awareness of it than don't. So,
but I'm glad this is the first part of the thread because during my reread of Boruto, I actually found something that kind of support that this is talking about hacks only, if that.
Okay.
When they talk about power,
hold on, let me like read the statements first.
I thought we had finished.
Okay, so this is the first statement he brings up. This is from the Borukara number 4. I could bring up the actual translation of this in a second. Hold on, let me actually just go grab it really quickly. Let's tag Borukara. All right, this is the actual translation of it. Let me go back to this thread though. Okay. So the first thing is the stream black?
Let me go see.
Yeah, it's black for some reason.
Why?
There we go. Okay. I don't know why the stream went black there. Sorry. So this is from the Borokara. This is talking about the inners. That's like the context of this. And it's talking about code. So an inner who looks like a young man, according to himself, and when it comes to the inners, according to himself, he possesses abilities that are at the same level as Boros, but surpass those of Deltas. Now, the context of this statement is chapter 34. Hold on, let me go to it real quick. Context of this statement is chapter 34, and in it there's this statement here where Code is saying that Delta's no match for Naruto. They even like on the Borokara, you can see it's the same picture, it's the same pose. So that's the context of the statement, what Code is talking about. And Code is like technically right, if you get what I mean. Code is probably stronger than Delta, right? And then Boro would probably be better at handling a human opponent because of his poison.
Even though his poison attacks the organs, for anyone who didn't know. And if he's fighting someone like a robot, i.e. someone who doesn't have organs, kind of just nags him. But if he's fighting Naruto can, like, let's say Rasengan him or punch him, then inhale a poison and suffer from organ failure.
Yeah,
so it doesn't even really scale much.
So like, say Naruto enters the fight in base like he did with Delta, and he rushes it, not rushes that, but he slams Boro the same way he did Delta, and then the poison is just in the air. He's gonna get knocked out from the poison. Yeah. So this isn't Delta anti-scaling. This is like Boro's just kind of underrated in this aspect. Like Boro stat-wise is pretty trash. Right,
relative to like weakened Boruto and Kawaki and Sarada.
Yeah, and this just says the same thing. A young man who is said to surpass Delta. Now the problem with this statement versus how he uses it, this just says Code is said to surpass Delta. By who? Who says that? Besides Code?
Use the same. Yeah, but the fact that they use the same pose tells me that the person in question is Code himself.
Yeah,
but kind of. Besides the author just clearly making it apparent that this is some hearsay or just from Code's word of mouth, which kind of leads into it kind of being not really that true, or it could be false or some shit like that. When they want to say power, because Sasuke in the earlier chapters, he says all of Kara, or like the Kara is a group with Otsutsuki-like powers. If they wanted to say powers as in like AP or physical or something, they would just use that word. The fact that they use abilities kind of just makes me lean into more hex-based things, if it is true to begin with.
Yep. Like Troy said, these statements, every single time this statement is worded, is literally like, oh, in Code's opinion, said by Code. Like, and then if you get like actual translation, it says a member of the inners who has the appearance of a young male. According to him, among the inners, he has more ability than Delta and about the same as Boro. So it's like the same way every time. It's like according to Code, said by someone. It's just talking about this. So
and then if you want to go like more of the common sense route, if it was true that Boro was actually like stronger than Delta or something, then would that not seem a bit odd to you how Naruto, who can just one shot like Karma Boruto, would via the Boro scaling be kind of comparable? would that not seem a bit odd?
Yep. Okay. Hold on, I gotta don't know. Why is Yuji so weak? I mean, it's just like the way Gege wrote the story. Like Gege just has like a down to earth type power scaling on her story or their story.
He's talking about inverse.
Inverse? I mean, inverse Yuji's narrative is just like he's just a piece of the world. Like he's the main character, but he's just a piece of the world.
Yeah, he also doesn't have nearly as flashy or hexy abilities as everyone else.
Yeah.
Gojo has like a barrier. Sukuna can slash, cleave, anything, but like auto lock on or some shit. We got Megami. I actually don't know who Sean King Megami. I haven't read that, but people
Yeah.
like Hikari, Yuta,
Right.
and then we got Yuji
Both.
when he just punches.
Yeah, he just punches. All right. Next part of the thread. Both Code and Boro are stated superior to Delta with ability at the same level. This is in reference to their abilities being deemed equal to one another, which doesn't need to include their speed and strength because Boro can fight opponents without needing to keep up. Okay, so he at least understands that. Like Boro doesn't have to scale to Code. And whatever. Now, Boro as an individual also is multiple times stated to be superior than Delta. Okay, Boro's never stated to be superior to Delta. It's every single time, like we just went over, it's always worded in the way of just Code's opinion. He is never actually stated that he is just superior to Delta. Many people say it's referring to abilities and that. Oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, to that Boruto superior thing. I don't know why people like it's almost like a bias within the. Should I just call it Boruto fandom the Naruto fandom too?
Boruto fandom.
But yeah, the Boruto fandom. Let's say like when it's a statement against like Naruto or like Momoshiki or Ishiki, they like to diddle daddle around the truth. If it like threatens their favorite character, but then when it comes to the lower people like Delta or Sarada or like Boruto or something, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is objective." Like, no, it's not fallible at all.
Yeah.
Like if that was a statement for Naruto, they would be interpreting it how we are now.
Many people say this is referring to abilities and that Delta has better stats, which again means nothing because Boro is still implied to be above Delta and her stats won't deny the narrative. Oh my god. This is one of the times we were talking about this guy. He just brings up the word narrative in order to help his point where it just doesn't. There is no narrative here that Boro has to be stronger than Delta. The only thing here is that Delta may or may not be less efficient at taking out Naruto than Boro. But like you put Delta in the situation with the kids that Boro was in, they all die.
Yeah, she is taking them all out instantly.
Literally.
No, there's no question. There's no coming up with an antidote mid battle.
You know how
there's
I know
no.
it? Hold on. You know how I know it? You know how I know it? Look at Delta. Look at Delta handling fucking Boruto versus fucking Boro. Hold on. Where is Boro? Where's this shit at? It's at the end of this chapter right now.
It should be coming up.
Boruto starts charging up his Rasengan, throw it at Delta. Delta absorbs it. And then she does it Boruto. He gets knocked out. Right now, let's look at Boro deal with Boruto instead. Hold on.
Actually an underrated feat for Naruto versus Delta. He sees her charging at his kid and still can't stop her. I never even noticed that.
I mean, that shit travel speed, so
yeah.
It's also like an unexpected play. Where does Boro get charged at again?
Wait, we're talking about the dual Rasengan?
Nah. This is base Boruto. This isn't even.
Nah, this is crazy.
Like this is base Boruto, bro. Now, there's another time I swear when Boro rushes.
Charged at him too?
Did he?
Yeah, you scroll up a little bit. This should be coming up soon.
Yeah. He reacts here, but not to like anything else Kawaki does, which you can say that's just because it's regen. So I guess we don't need to bring that up. So basically, Yuji is Sakura is really good curse energy controlling push hard. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Look at Sarada just weaving Boro. He might be powerful, but he's just not that fast.
Oh, that's a crazy statement. I never even repeat that either.
Bro, there's another time when Boro just rushes at them. I need to find it. Oh,
it should be coming up when he takes off the cloak.
Yeah, it's on this chapter right here. Boruto's in mid-air here. He can't dodge, so that's the reason to explain that. Kawaki blows his middle away. All right, here it goes. Look at Boro dashes at him, same way Delta did, and Boruto reacts in base. This is
like, I'm
karma.
pretty sure this is. Is this post a statement of them getting weaker?
No, it's pre.
Okay.
This is karma Boruto. This is base Boro. Or this is base Boruto reacting to Boro. Doing the same thing Delta did.
It's almost like the author is just telling y'all like what he's trying to portray. He does not have higher stats. It's his poison.
Like, you put Delta in that situation, she just packs the kids up. But you put Boro in Delta's situation, and not because of stats, he probably just beats Naruto.
And you know how Boro's actually I don't think Boro would beat Naruto either, but he probably would do a little better. Given his poison, they might have to figure out how that works or something.
Yeah, but like the Kurama regeneration, whatever. Yeah, he might like pull it off.
You notice how Boro's abilities like slowly whittle down Team 7? All of Delta's abilities are abilities that they do like instant damage. Like those negging beams, those would do instant damage, kill him instantly. Scientific Ninja Tools also would just like one shot him. He has like slow whittling down moves, and she has just straight AP attacks.
So, next part of the thread. While on his way to face Jigen, Koji comes face to face with Delta and confidently states he can take care of her even in base form, with Amato adding that he doesn't need to bother doing that, implying that if Koji attempted to take her down, he could. Now, Amato saying this does not mean that or imply that Koji could take Delta down, but all it implies is he literally what he says, he doesn't need to bother doing it because he could just turn Delta off. Now, Koji being confident is whatever. I mean, Jiraiya rarely shows that he's unconfident in a specific situation. So Koji being confident is fine. His ability to take down Delta. The seal he uses here sort of makes me think he was going to use the same sealing jutsu that he did on Konohamaru and them. What'd you say, Troy?
The frog gulp.
Frog gulp. Yeah. This seal, hold on, let me just pull it up. Like when he uses that on them. What chapter would that be?
I'm trying to guess this. 26.
Oh, it's right here, 23.
That is crazy.
You can see it's literally like the same seal. Hold on, let me just go back over here. Literally the same seal. Let me see. Do you think Yuji's next big technique would just be reverse curse energy to heal himself like Tsunade does? No, I think Yuji's next big technique would be getting Sukuna's curse techniques the same way that Gojo said he would.
I think he's going to get the fire arrow first.
I don't think that's part of Sukuna's main curse techniques. I think he's going to get the
you think that copies?
Yeah.
You think that comes from the copy shit? Okay, yeah. I hope it's part of Sukuna's real shit though. And I hope when it comes to anime, they animated a different color.
But yeah, I think Koji was going to use this and then maybe try to take Delta down after that, which she should be able to absorb it. But the problem is we don't know if Delta's absorption can work in a 360 degree like angle or you would work in a 360 degree radius.
It probably doesn't, because when she's trying to absorb the Rasengan, she like looks at it.
Yeah. So
he used the low res scan.
I'm saying, but this shit is so low res.
Googled all right, that.
Next part. I would like to add Koji watched a fight between Delta and Naruto and still was confident about defeating her, even after witnessing her capabilities. So I explained why other enemies are narratively portrayed as stronger than her and supported narrative with statements.
Big problem with this part.
So I'll say mine. You can say yours. If you have a big problem, then yours is probably longer than mine. Well, he didn't do any of this, right? For one, he never justifies that the second Delta is as strong as the first Delta. Like nowhere in here is that mentioned. And then two, him supporting it with narrative or statements, whatever, is also just not there. Like he supports it with maybe statements, if you even want to count that as support. So yeah, you can go ahead. I'll go back to it right here.
He does say that Koji watched the fight, which Koji does say he like watched some of the fight. But my issue with this is if you use the anime, this is supported even more. All I think Koji did was like see the start and see that she lost. In the anime, the extra support is like I'm pretty sure during their fight, he literally goes and like scopes out some shit. I think that's when he scopes out the Kakashi stuff. Yeah. He goes and scopes out the Leaf Village, which like further supports. He didn't watch the whole fight, but I just have a hard time believing he was sitting there crisscross applesauce watching that whole fight through the frog. I just don't think that's like Koji like to do.
I mean, then too, even then he might have been like, oh, I couldn't take out the first Delta, but the second Delta like easy to take out, something like that. I don't know. Or maybe because of what she showed against Naruto, he was like, I need to seal her first so I can like get a hit on her while she can't move.
Delta typically does start off not going all out, so he's probably like wanting. He's like, okay, if she does how she did Naruto, I can take that version of Delta before she powers up.
Delta with full killer intent versus Naruto, like she makes it clear she's gonna kill him. Full killer intent does not go all out at the beginning. Like you're pretty irritating. I think I'll kill you, and then she just starts. She even switches her fighting style mid combat. Keep that in mind. The first fighting style is like primarily based on kicks, and then Naruto obviously just slams her. And then the second fighting style, hold on, this isn't what she's going all out either. It's right down here.
Naruto Blackfit is crazy. I didn't know it was that hard.
No, that shit is hard. That shit is hard as fuck.
Yeah, that shit is way harder.
This right here is when they both power up and supposedly go all out. So like
in the anime is way more
clear. Like they start clashing and then look like it's not just kicks anymore. Like the first thing she comes in with is her hands, like same with Naruto.
And then Naruto gets bloodlust.
And then they start doing this crazy clashing in Boruto. Where's it at the bottom, bro? Boruto, what an unbelievable battle. There's no room for me at all.
Oh, bro, you know what's crazy about? I'm gonna type it. You said we weren't gonna mention Momo, so I'm gonna just type it in the DMs.
Yeah. So back to the thread. So yeah. Now, many people say she scales to Naruto and speed and taijutsu. This doesn't make any sense because that would make base Koji as strong or even stronger than 6-pack Sage Mode Naruto, and Sage Mode Koji definitely far stronger than Naruto, which is not supported by narrative or any statement. This is stupid because he basically just says no, Delta can't be this strong because that would make Koji stronger. When okay, like you can either bite the bullet and say, yeah, Koji is just that nigga, or you can say, well, that debunks your earlier interpretation of what would have happened during the Koji versus Delta fight.
The craziest part is, remember before we started thread, or like no, midway in the thread, I said how people's biasness like saves their favorite characters. This is literally his bias kicking in for Naruto. He does not want Koji to be stronger than Naruto.
Bro, I don't even understand. Like, bro, the whole thing behind Kara is like Sasuke's like, oh, we found this new group of people who just have Otsutsuki level powers. If anything, all this fight shows is that Naruto can swap hands with and eventually beat up an Otsutsuki level character.
Yeah, by himself this time. Because every time prior he fought Otsutsukis, he had to have help from Sasuke or like Team 7 back in the war. Now this is showing he can box with them by himself. Like, I don't see why people don't like this.
Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Not just that, it would make base Koji and especially Sage Mode Koji far superior to Fused Momoshiki, which is not the case, as we've seen that Momoshiki's powers surpass those of Code, who is the strongest inner member. Correct me if I'm wrong, all of Code's inner statements come after Koji's dead, right? Supposedly dead, like to Amato.
You talking about like he's the strongest and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe Koji's the strongest inner. Like who fucking knows? Like he's not, but I'm just saying, like Koji might just be the strongest inner. Like, what if Koji's not even really, like in Amato's eyes, considered an inner?
Yeah, and when other people comment on Code stuff besides like Amato, not only am I not sure if they know about the limiters, if they do, they definitely don't know like how much Amato limited him. So they might just be when like other people say he's the strongest. They might just be going off the lore that he had to be weakened for Jigen or something. If they heard about that, that's my issue with other people commenting on code.
They're like wrapping up the thread here. In the end, narrative clearly portrays Delta as far inferior to Kara Inners. Wrong. Who individually are not at the level of Fuse Momo.
What?
Naruto and bro, how can he say they're not at the level of Fuse Momo, Naruto, and Sasuke when Code is supposedly like the Naruto and Sasuke slayer? Yeah. Like with limiters on, like he might be the Naruto and Sasuke slayer.
This is just biasness for Naruto, bro. Like he's held Naruto on such a high horse. He's like, no one gets above him. I don't care what I have to do, and he's doing it.
She is one of the weakest introduced characters in Boruto. This just didn't even this didn't get.
Yeah, I was about to say, and bro, we've had Garo, Amato, all those little robot shits, Kawaki. The Guinea, like, come on, she's clearly not one of the weakest.
And why she doesn't scale to Naruto based on her narrative after the fight? Not the same Delta.
Going in that word.
I'm saying, but like, it's not the same Delta, and like there is no narrative for this.
Bro, I know he's behind his keyboard. Like, I'm gonna sound so smart saying this. Like, just stop, bro.
He said, "I can say that the creator didn't portray Naruto's superiority over her very well." Oh my god! Oh my.
Wait.
I can say the creator didn't portray Naruto's superiority over her very well, but based on later info we got, her feats don't matter. This nigga's insane.
Think he is?
No. This part right here is the most insane part of the bias. He's literally saying that Naruto is way superior to Delta. They just didn't portray it well. No, nigga. She just scales to Naruto. Like, what is he on?
At the end, he said her feats don't matter.
Like, what are you talking about, bro?
You can replace that whole paragraph with "I am biased." That whole paragraph just reads "I am biased." That's it.
So she's not beating Shippuden, Code, Base Momo, Adult Sage Naruto, Momo, I mean, Delta beating all the Shippudens, whatever. I don't even really care to like comment on that.
Read the rest of the bottom.
Also, Madara is her nightmare and she's afraid of him. Thanks for reading. Like, bro, come on, Madara, bro. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, that's that. Like, it was just like a fairly bad thread, and I just thought it needed to be commented on. Hold on, let me show you all the replies to the thread. These are the
Go to the quote tweets.
Yeah, these are the quote tweets. So this is right here. This entire thread is based on a straw man argument and a vague manga panel that got debunked by the anime. Her strength comes from one of the best source of feats in the series, and that's Naruto. Any argument against that becomes null without proper counter feat.
W response. I actually
Delta,
like that response.
Yeah, on God. Delta over limit Code and Boro. Okay, but this nigga, I don't know about Code, but Boro for sure.
I probably wouldn't have an issue with like, especially Karma Code being above Delta. I probably wouldn't.
Someone with a Chromebook, RK got all the bad arguments and then put them into a Delta hate thread. All these arguments suck, on God. Nah, but for real, Koji was always disrespecting her. I mean, whatever, he didn't like her.
Yeah, that disrespecting shit. I don't see why people always bring up niggas disrespecting.
This nigga said motherfuckers just stop scaling at this point, because what is it? This nigga said, "You're actually retarded. I would love to debate you on this topic." My Discord. I think I know this nigga. I think I know this guy. Visionary.
He was getting too much hate.
Y'all going against the narrative to scale this fodder above Momoshiki Code and other uppers of the verse. It's not hard to understand that despite her stats, she's not beating any of them due to narrative and how a creator wanted to portray her character. Stupid. This is like a stupid. You got W Ichigo. Bro, I did not know Truth was on the stream.
Wait, is he saying something?
He's just pinged.
I did not agree if you want to stream, bro.
You got this guy. There are some things I agree with, but it's hard to accept Boro stronger than Delta when Boro himself is blitzed by Sard and his body essentially like, see, this nigga's like spitting.
Like, bro, if you agree with the Boro statements, then you have it just messes up everything.
You got me with like the ratio.
Oh, that was an insane ratio. Crazy.
Just statements that have no proof. Amazing thread. This nigga's stupid. Like I ratioed this nigga too. Like insanely. I like Jay though. Jay's cool.
Jay usually doesn't have this bad takes.
And then bro just ended the Delta Wing. This is Keto Maki. Like Keto Maki, you know what that nigga be on. But yeah, just show y'all the replies.